Hello Yellow class. This half term we are reading the story The Papaya That Spoke, and to help us with that story I think it's important that we learn a little bit about a papaya so that we can understand a little bit more about the start of the story. Now a papaya is a fruit, and this is a papaya that I've bought, and papayas are grown on trees, and that's where the stem of the plant would have been, and at the top here you've got a mark because the fruit is formed from inside the flower. So this is a papaya, and if you're able to get one then you can do. If not, I've taken some pictures of this one and I'm going to have a little go at exploring it and giving you an opportunity to have a look inside today, so that you can try and think of some of your own words to help you write your description tomorrow. So the outside, now the feel of it, it's actually got quite a tough skin, quite a thick skin, a bit like a mango skin if you've got a mango at home. It feels quite rubbery, it's curved, it's quite soft and smooth. It's not got a rock hard skin, it's not like a coconut or anything like that. If I really wanted to, I could push into it, but that would bruise the fruit, so I'm not going to do that. The look, it's a greeny yellowy colour, and it's quite a bright green. And as they get riper, I think they go more yellow. I think they start off a bit more of a darker green, and as they ripen up they go this yellowy, and I think they go a slightly orangey colour. I always quite like the little bit at the bottom. That looks a little bit like a star at the bottom there. And they're a similar shape to a pear, like a conference pear. So they've got a round bit at the bottom and they come up to a point at the top. And as I said earlier, papaya is grown on a tree, and we've got a part at the top where the stem would have been, and it would have grown and it would have been a flower. And then because it's part of the flower, inside here we will find some seeds in a moment. The smell doesn't really smell very much, it just kind of smells a bit like maybe grass or a leaf or something that you might get outside. So that's the outside of the papaya. It does have a bit of a sort of a covering on the skin that you can feel, and you can feel it on your fingers. It's almost like it's a little bit waxy. So that's the outside of the papaya. You might come up with some different words to describe it. As I say, there's some pictures that I'll put on the website so you can have a look at those. So I'm going to cut it in half now. I'm hoping it's quite easy to cut. Yeah, it's quite soft, this one. Got quite a nice ripe one. Now this isn't like a mango. A mango's just got one stone in it like a peach. A papaya has got lots of pips and seeds inside. If you have a look at those, wow, there's lots in there. Dread to think how many, there's quite a few. And it reminds me, they look similar to the seeds inside a passion fruit. And I'm going to scoop those out so you don't eat them. Or can you hear them? If you listen very carefully, you might be able to hear them. And actually the seeds are very hard inside here. So if I scoop those out, and I will take a picture so you can have a look at a close-up of the seeds, and I'll just bring them over to you. So these are the seeds inside the papaya. I'm going to press on one. Yeah, very hard. You wouldn't want to be chewing this. Actually, I say, well, they are very hard. Oh, they're a bit slimy because they've got juice on them and fruit on them. But they are rock hard. If I press down on one, yeah, I'd really have to push to be able to break that, and I think that's going to cause a disaster somewhere else. So they've got little hard black seeds inside them, and you get quite a few in there, and they feel a little bit slippery because they're covered in juice, so they're hard, but they are a bit slippery as well. So that's the seeds from inside, and when you take the seeds out, you've got a hollow. Looks a little bit like an avocado, except for an avocado would be green on the inside, wouldn't it? So when we have a look, we can see on the inside. Now if I touch this, this is quite a juicy papaya, so the skin, the flesh inside feels quite juicy. It's quite slippery, quite soft, quite wet because of that. So we've got the feel of it inside. Now the smell, now inside doesn't smell much different to the outside. I suppose I would say the smell of it is a bit stronger than the outside, but it still just kind of smells like a leafy. It hasn't got a particular Hasn't got a particular fruity smell that it's got. The look, inside you've got this sort of orangey, peachy colour, and it's quite a pale fruit. It's not a really bright fruit, but it's a pale orangey colour, and there you can see, when you're up close, how thick that skin on the papaya is, and then you've got the flesh, and then in here was where the seeds were. Now, I am going to taste it. I'm going to admit before I taste it, I don't actually like papaya, so it does seem a bit strange that I'm going to have a taste, but it's for you. I find it a little bit of a flower, it tastes a bit floury for me, and I don't mean flower like the white flower, I mean flower like the flowers in the garden. It's a bit perfumey, but luckily Miss Bridges really likes papaya, so once I've finished here, I'm going to deliver it to her, because I'm not going to waste this, because that would be silly to waste it. I'm going to try a bit from this end here, and you don't eat the skin, but you do cut it into little pieces, and as you cut it, ooh, try not to lose a finger. So again, ooh, you can see how slippery it is because I managed to drop it there. So it is quite slippery, and you can see how pink and orange that it is. And again, I'm going to try it for you. I'm not very good with papaya. Oh, I'm so not good with it. I've dropped it twice now. Now, it's not as bad as I remember, actually. I remember it being really flowery. It's quite a watery flavour. It reminds me a little bit of, not a watermelon, but like a cantaloupe melon or something like that. It's a little bit like one of those. It's not quite as flowery as I remember. It's not my favourite. It's not got a sharp flavour, it's got quite a sweet flavour to it. So that's the papaya. I'll take some pictures of these bits as well. As I say, if you get a chance to get one, you can do. If not, just use the resources that you've got. So use the pictures. You might be able to find something else, some other images on Google or something about a papaya. If not, just use the images I've given you to fill in some adjectives to begin with about the papaya. And then tomorrow we're going to be putting those into some sentences. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I might not be able to give that to Miss Bridges now. Shh, don't tell her. No, I will deliver it to her. I don't think I could eat a whole one. See you later. Bye.